Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers and Digital Empire Builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show, and today we're talking entrepreneurship and mental health. 12 ways to manage your mental health as an entrepreneur. We all know that being an entrepreneur, business owner is not easy. There's a lot of stress that comes with the job. Even the thought of being an entrepreneur can mess you up in your heart and your mind sometimes. But what do you do to cope with stress? What do you do to manage your mental health? That's what we're talking about today. We're going to give you 12 ways to manage your mental health today. So do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it this morning.
Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from Thought Online Marketing Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you need help filling your calendar as a service-based business, Thought Online Marketing has a program that you can test drive for free to book qualified appointments on your calendar. And all you got to do is show up and close the deal. If that sounds like something you at least want to hear more about, text Local Biz to 314-730-3999. Again, text Local Biz to 314-730-3999 and book your free marketing strategy session. We'll learn all about your business and see if it's a good program that can help you and your business grow. Today, we're talking entrepreneurship and mental health. We're going to give you 12 ways to manage your mental health as an entrepreneur. We know that being a business owner is not easy. There's a lot of stress, sometimes unwarranted stress. We put stress on ourselves to be good, to be great at what we do. And some other times there are stressful situations just in running a business. If you ever had to manage or deal with stress in your business, put a 1 in a comment. I would like to know who we're talking to today. But before we get to these 12 ways to manage stress as an entrepreneur, then I'm going to give you a couple quick announcements. No class this weekend. You guys know that a couple times a month, I always try to do some sort of free workshop class to help you get your business off to a great start. Not doing that this weekend, but I am going to be on a great podcast called The Hood Talks this weekend. So I'm going to post a link to that actual show page. So if you want to check that out at 12 Central, we're talking about being overworked, underpaid, and how entrepreneurship could be the answer. So that's where I'm going to be this weekend at 12. And then I've got a little bit of a road trip. I'll be going to headed down south for a quick day trip. But nevertheless, no class tomorrow, but you can catch me on the Hood Talks podcast I posted the link there. Also, remember, the Cortez Hustle Show is moving to its own dedicated page starting on Monday. So if you're on the Financial Health Mentor page or any other Facebook page and you're like, where's the show? It's on the Cortez Hustle Show page. I was successful in building the Financial Health Mentor page to over 100,000 followers. I'm going to do the same thing for the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm creating its own lane within my business. So it's going to have its own dedicated page. And that's where we're going to be starting on Monday. So I put the link in the comments so that you guys can go over there and follow that page and turn on notifications so that put us on See First so you get notified when we schedule the actual podcast and you guys get to see the lineup. I'm also going to be doing a lot of other things along with the podcast, bringing you back some clips from previous episodes. Some of you guys are new to the podcast this year. Man, listen, we are on episode 278. So y'all might have missed some good stuff. So I'll get to do some snippets and reruns and stuff like that of previous shows. So I want you guys to make sure you go follow the page over there because we are the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century, right? So, and then last but not least, man, don't forget, you guys always text Mastermind at 314-866-4053 if you want to join the free Mastermind. I'm telling you, the training, the content, the free tools and resources that are provided over in that group, if you're an entrepreneur, that's where you want to be. Plus, you get to network with a ton of other entrepreneurs. Text Mastermind at 314-866-4053 if you want to join the Mastermind group. So we start every show right here on the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. So before we get into the 12 ways to manage mental health as an entrepreneur, I have a quote of the day. And the quote is from Walter Bond, one of my favorite motivational speakers. And the quote is this: everybody dies, but not everybody lives. So I was working out this morning, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. What a shame would it be for you to leave this earth not having had the experience of actually living. And when I'm talking about living, that's a relative word. It's different for everybody. For most, it's really about pursuit of some passion, something that sets you on fire, something that makes you happy. My pursuit of becoming a multi-billion-dollar media conglomerate, media mogul, right? That drives me, that wakes me up this morning. Me knowing that I'm laying a foundation for generations to come, and they're going to be able to go back and glean some insights from all of the things that I'm putting together. Like, that makes me feel alive, right? What makes you feel alive? What are you living for? What are you going after today that really gets your juices flowing? What really makes you tick? Do not pass away from this earth without living, my friend. And it's interesting when I listen to Walter Bond, because if you don't know the story of Walter Bond, he went from never starting on the basketball team in his college career to being an undrafted free agent that started on opening night in the NBA. I want y'all to let that sink in. He never started a basketball game in college. He was not drafted, but was able to, he was undrafted, but was able to walk onto a team, so to speak. And because of his hard work, his determination, because basketball at that time in his life is what made him feel alive, he went after it. And he became the only undrafted free agent to start on opening night for the Dallas Mavericks, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy story. So I want to encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to live today, but not just today, every day. Don't let a bad moment become a bad day. and a bad day become a bad week, and a bad week become a bad month. I hear people all the time talking about how they're having bad days. The only reason you can have a bad day is if you let a moment fester all day long. Don't do that, man. Do not do that. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by, of course, our good friends over at Thornton Online Marketing. They want to help your business grow with their programs. They have two really, really good programs that you guys need to check out. The Solopreneur Success System gives you all the tools and resources that you need to grow your business. The Acceleration Business System is for existing service-based businesses that need help filling their calendar, right? They literally book the appointments for you. All you got to do is jump on the phone with your prospects and close the deal. All you got to do is text local biz to 314-730-3999 for a free marketing strategy session. And if we got some products and services that serve or are a good fit for you, then we'll make you an offer. If not, we can perhaps recommend some other marketing agencies that can help you get to the next level. So we're talking entrepreneurship and mental health. There's 12 ways to manage your mental health according to this article that I found on, let me give you the source. This is a website called Calmer, right? This is calmer.com. I'll put the link in the show notes and in the descriptions for you guys to check out. Did you know over 70% of entrepreneurs experience poor mental health? This can be anything from stress to burnout to breakdown. And we here at Calmer know that it's all preventable. Whether you are planning to launch your business, working freelance, or you have been running your own business for a number of years, it's important to prioritize your mental health and well-being. These are 12 steps that you could take to prioritize your mental health and well-being. Number one, take note of any negative feelings, right? You might hear me on this show talk about how you can't let a thought become a stronghold, right? And sometimes I say, make sure you get that negative thought out of your head, right? But you should also take note of those negative thoughts and those negative feelings. Entrepreneurs are particularly likely to experience stress compared to the working population. Entrepreneurial stress is commonly caused by uncertainty, loneliness, and financial concerns, and it can escalate without the right support. Tanya Diggory, founder of Calmer, wrote in Psychologist magazine that entrepreneurs need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Every day presents different challenges as an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurial lifestyle demands that you take calculated risks, try new things, find solutions, and make bold moves. This can feel highly overwhelming and have a profound impact on a person's mental health and well-being. So number one, when you have negative feelings, number one, understand that it is okay, and that is nothing to feel guilty about, right? That's first and foremost. But then you want to take note of those negative feelings. Before I shake this thing off, what is it? Where did it come from? Why am I feeling this way all of a sudden? Yeah, best believe I'm going to shake it off, but I'm going to take note of it, right? It's important. One particularly productive way of managing your negative thoughts and feelings is to accept them fully. Take note, let them wash over you, and give yourself time to address what is causing them. Sometimes we try to deny the fact that I'm in the funk, right? I was sharing with my wife, not last week, the week before. It's like, man, I just don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning doing my workout, right? I just don't feel like, man, but what was it? And I literally had to allow myself to feel it. Like, okay, whatever this is, it's something, right? And for me, it was, I've been literally working out 4 days a week on average for 3 straight years. And sometimes you just need the rest. Sometimes your body just says, look, Jigga, chill. And it's okay. And I'm one of those types of people that if I'm not working and being productive, I feel a way about that, right? I feel like as a man, I've got to produce, I've got to be doing something towards my dreams and my goals. And sometimes, y'all, rest is the best thing that you can do for your goal. My wife will tell me all the time, walk away. Walk away. Like I sit here and I'm doing this and I'm putting it all together. She said, listen, sometimes you walk away, let your mind go somewhere else, calibrate and calculate everything that you've been doing, organize, file things away. And then when you come back and sit down to it again, you have a fresh new perspective, right? So allow yourself to feel what you're feeling without any guilt. Take note of those things and feel them. And then get to the root of what's causing you to feel that way. Number 2, identify what is contributing to your stress. This leads us onto our next step, identifying what is contributing to your stress. Running a business, especially in the early stages, can be overwhelming, consuming all of your time and energy. With every entrepreneur, there will be recurring situations that cause a high amount of stress that may be your workload, your business, financial uncertainty, or your fear of the unknown. You gotta identify what's making you feel that way. What's making you feel stressed is the first step to prevent that stress from happening again. So if you feel any negative feelings, understand that it is okay. Take note of them, identify them, allow yourself to feel them. Like sometimes I rarely get mad. And when I do get mad, I'm mad for a hot second. And it's like, man, what set me off? What really frustrated? What pushed that button? Okay, certain situations push that button. How do I avoid that situation? Right. So you got to feel it, take note, then identify what's the root cause of that thing. And how can I prevent that from being a permanent, recurring thing in my life? So, number 1, take note. Number 2, identify. Number 3, disconnect your business's value and your own self-worth. Oh, this one is real right here. There's a tendency for entrepreneurs to define themselves by the success of their business ventures. This can be unhelpful, especially for your mental health. My business ain't where I want it to be, so I feel like a failure. My business ain't growing as fast as some other people that I started with in the game, so I feel like a failure. In difficult cases, entrepreneurs can end up spending more time on their business, trying to make things work, and neglect their friends, family, and life outside of work. Make time to practice self-love and realize that the figures on the balance sheet don't define who you are or what you're worth. Man, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. But it's not just for entrepreneurs. Sometimes you get caught up in that thing in your career. Hey, I'm this age. I thought I would be at this place in my career by now. I must be a failure. Don't let that stuff define you, right? It's a process. It's a process, y'all. What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Man, I graduated college at the same time as this person. This person is an executive. I'm still in middle management. I want you to always, always, always look back to your Red Sea moments. What are those Red Sea moments? Those are the moments in your life where you didn't think you were going to make it through. Those are the moments in your life where challenge after challenge seemed to hit you. Those are the moments in your life where God stepped in and delivered you. Sometimes we forget that. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you once were, right? I'm so far away from $1 billion business, but where I started from, when I look back, that's what we sometimes forget. We're always looking ahead at how far we have to go. But I want you to start looking back to see how far you've come to. Because that's a powerful motivator right there. It's a powerful motivator when I look back and I can say, man, I raised 5 sons. They all graduated high school. All but one of them had the opportunity to go to college and decide whether college was them for or was for them or not. Right? They're all strong, handsome, responsible young men, right? And then I started a business and I said I was going to do certain things, and those things have come to pass. Like when I look back on how far I've come, right? And I'm going to share a little bit of my testimony. Mental health is important to me because we're going to get to 1 minute motivation, but before we go to 1 minute motivation, I'm going to say this. I come from Baptist church background, right? And in the Baptist church, we have time during the sermon where people will give their testimony, right? And every testimony would kind of start the same, right? I give an honor to God who's the head of my life, to the pastor, the first lady, and all the respective leaders in their respective places. I want to first thank God for waking me up and clothing me in my right mind, right? That's a very common way to start a testimony in the Baptist church, right? And people say that, but very few people know what it's like to wake up outside of your right mind. But I do. I'm going to share that with you on the other side of 1 minute motivation. So if you're new to the Cortez Hustle Show, 1 minute motivation is where we play a short motivational clip, because I'm big on intentional personal growth and self-development. And I say intentional with emphasis because everything contributes to your personal growth and self-development, but you got to be intentional about the things that you allow into your mind, body, and spirit. So we're going to get into 1 minute motivation, and I'm going to play this short motivational clip. If you guys are able to type, then give me your takeaway. I'm going to give you a couple of takeaways. So this is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
You don't have the time to waste time, because time doesn't wait till you discover your purpose. If you don't know why you was born, time is still moving. And if you discover your purpose at 90 years old, it's too late.
You don't know how young you are. What if you die in 2 years? You're pretty old right now. You got 2 years left. And if you're 50 years old and you're feeling discouraged, well, remember the advice about planting a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago or today? So if you're 50 and you feel like life left you behind, well, get started right now. Better late than never. Better late than never. Don't think about time and age so much. It gets people distracted. When the whole world's distracted, you be focused.
You have to trust your own voice, your own ideas, your honesty, your vulnerability, and through this you will find your way. You do not have to be fearless. Just don't let fear stop you. Live like this as best you can, and I guarantee you will look back on a life well lived. You are capable of greatness in your profession, and more importantly, in your quality of self. Stay hungry. Stay young at heart. Take those risks. You are going to change the world around you in big ways and in small.
Hoo-wee. Lots and lots and lots to unpack there. I can do a whole show on just that clip right there, but I want you to do me a favor. I want you to write in the comments, those of you who are able to type, I am going to change the world around me. I want you to declare that today. I am going to change the world around me. Self-awareness is something else, right? But when we really take a look at the fact that we literally have the power to change the world around us, right? That could be frightening, but to me, that's exciting. Like, I don't like the way the world is going around me. I can do something about that. You don't have to be fearless, but you do have to have courage, y'all. You don't have to be fearless. Just don't let fear stop you. Feel the fear. It's part of it. That's where brave people come in. That's where courageous people come in. It's not that they don't feel the fear. There's no such thing as fearless when we really look at it. Everybody feels fear. Not everybody allows fear to stop them, though. Everybody doesn't have the paralyzing effect. Fear doesn't have the paralyzing effect on everybody. Some people have made a conscious decision that when I feel fear, I'm going to move forward in spite of the fear. Sometimes because of the fear, I'm going to move forward because I don't like being afraid, right? Stop allowing what you have not done yet to keep you from doing. We look back and like, man, I wish I would have started my business 10 years ago. Started today. Man, I wish I would have told that person I'm sorry. Tell them today. Man, I wish I would have got my degree. Sign up for classes today. Stop allowing what you have not done and feeling guilty about the things that you didn't do stop you from doing today. We got today. When's the best time to plant an apple tree? 25 years ago. When's the second best time? Today, right now, so that you don't go another 25 years talking about what you should have, could have, would have done. Trust your own voice. And this is difficult, y'all. And we're going to wrap up with this. The reason it's difficult to trust your own voice is because most of us have had our voices buried by the voices of so many outside influences, including our parents in a lot of cases, friends, family, news, media, TV. But when you uncover your voice, all of those other voices have an influence on you. But when your voice is discovered, you got to trust it. You got to trust it. It's important because it's your voice that is connected with the Most High. And we got to realize that all of us, even me right now on this podcast, talking to you, I am literally affecting the way you think. I am putting thoughts into your head right now as you're listening to this. You got to figure out how to take this information in, how to sort it, how to categorize it, how to use it to build your own voice, but also what not to take in and how to keep it from adding the wrong thing to your voice. But when you discover your voice, you got to use it and you got to trust it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Personal Branding 365. Ladies and gentlemen, I put together this nice ebook to help you if you're trying to build a personal brand. Learn how to do it in a way that's profitable, that's sustainable, and that is evergreen, right? The way that I teach personal branding is all about not tactics, not hacks, not hype, but things that you can do on a regular and consistent basis. You can easily incorporate these things into your life and literally build a powerful personal brand over time. Go to personalbranding365.com, get yourself a copy, less than $8. You can change your entire brand if you're serious about building a personal brand, especially on the internet. So before we left, I was talking about the fact that most people will say and give thanks that they woke up in their right mind, and they rightfully should. But very few have ever woken up outside of their right mind. But I have, right? As a boy, I was physically and sexually abused and suffered from an extreme case of neglect, right? No disrespect to my mom. My mom was in an abusive relationship, and her way of escape is she started sending her children away. I was the fourth of 6 children raised by my mom, who was a single mom at the time. She was in this abusive relationship, and in order to get out, she started sending the kids away first. So she sent myself and my sister to live with my dad, right? That was the plan. But I laid over at my grandma's house. My dad never showed up. But unbeknownst to her, my uncle was very abusive, right? Both sexually and physically and emotionally as well. And on top of that, because I was living in my grandma's house, some of you guys know how Black people are raised in one big house, and there's multiple families in the house. Like, so at this time, most of my grandmother's children were grown and had their own kids, right? So these are my aunts and uncles. So I lived with my grandmother, my aunts and uncles, and my cousins, but they had their mom or their dad with them, and I didn't. So they would go and get ice cream and go to McDonald's and go to movies and go to Six Flags and stuff like that. And they didn't always have it in the budget to bring an extra kid. So that caused me to feel neglect. And then I had the abuse. And then I was emotionally traumatized moving from New York to St. Louis. And even though these were my family, I didn't know none of these people, right? It was a traumatic situation for me. And that journey I actually suppressed until I was about 22 years old. And it finally came out. And we started to work through it. And I started to get help. My sister is a counselor, right? And she was recommending books, and I started to get help. And then my baby brother got killed. So now on top of all of that trauma coming to the surface and me dealing with and trying to figure that thing out, now I'm grief stricken. So I couldn't even heal because before, in the beginning stages of my healing, I'm grief stricken, right? And go through this whole thing. So a couple years after that, meet my wife, had my first son, second son, and she had two children from a previous marriage. I had, we had one, and then we had another one, and I just snapped, right? I just snapped. And for some people, they explode. For me, I imploded, right? And it just was not a good situation. For like a year, maybe 18-month period, I was unraveling until it ultimately culminated to me actually having to be hospitalized for a few weeks, right? So I take this mental health thing seriously because I know what it's like to go through it, and I know what it takes to come out on the other side of it and continue to walk and recover fully. And I know what it's like to have a support system and people around you praying for you and believing in you and trusting God that you're going to be better and that everything is going to be okay. You got to think about it. My wife at the time had 4 kids, and she was pregnant with number 5. And at this time, I didn't know she was pregnant with number 5. right? And she was literally in a situation and in a space where it was like, hey, do we abort number 5? Do I can I trust that he's going to get better, right? This whole thing could be, and then I can be out here a single mom with 5 kids. What's going on, right? People in our lives is like, hey, you might want to cut your losses. That dude's gone. It's over. It's a wrap. Like, it was crazy. So when I talk mental health, I'm talking for a real place. I'm talking from a real place, right? I'm talking from real life experience. Like, it's important to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally. It's important for us to look after our children in a very, very special way. It's important to understand that everything that they witness has an impact on their lives. Every decision that you make has an impact. So that's important. But as an entrepreneur, a lot of the stress and a lot of the strain, a lot of the things that we go through is self-inflicted. So you got to understand how to challenge yourself in a way to stretch and grow. But there's also a such thing as too much stress. There's a such thing as too much stretch, right? You can stretch a rubber band to where it actually pops, right? You can stretch a muscle too much to where it actually pops. So be careful. Take care of your mental health. So we're talking 14 ways to manage your mental health as an entrepreneur. I don't know why I had to go through all of that, but somebody might have needed that this morning. But nevertheless, we are, number 1 is take note of negative feelings. When you're feeling it, feel it. And it's okay. And don't feel guilty about feeling it. Sometimes we get mad and we feel guilty about being mad. Like, we don't have a right to be mad. Sometimes we get sad and we feel guilty about feeling sad. No, sometimes we are happy with our success and we feel guilty about being happy about our success because people around us are not happy for us. Oh man, feel it and understand why you feel it. Identify, number 2, why you feel it. Number 3, disconnect your business's value from your self-worth, right? Number 4, define your zone of genius. When you start working for yourself, you probably took up the roles of the whole team of people. You're the CEO, the financial director, the sales manager, all at the same time. However, you probably don't want to carry on this way. And in fact, you'll find it unproductive to do so. It's time to define your zone of genius. Got 2 outstanding gifts from God: creativity and patience. Creativity and patience are 2 outstanding gifts that God gave me. I developed creativity because when I did finally go and move with my dad, at one point, I lived with him for 2 years before he was killed when I was 11. I lived with him for 2 years. And he worked a full-time job and he ran a club at night. So I hardly saw him. I barely even know him, right? But one of the reasons that I was able to develop my imagination is because of the abuse. I literally learned to go inside my own head. And then when I was with my dad, I was often the first kid to daycare because he had to be at work so early that I was usually there an hour and a half before another kid showed up for me to play with. Then I was the last kid to leave, right? So all the other kids were gone and I was usually the last one to be picked up. So I was usually there an hour to an hour and a half after all the other kids was gone. So I had to figure out how to entertain myself, right? So that developed a vivid imagination for me, a crazy amount of creativity. Then being born, raised by a single mom on welfare, hardly no money, no resources. Other kids got bikes and I'm taking scrap bikes, putting them together and building and tinkering, and all of that stuff led to me being this creative genius that I am, right? But then patience. I had to learn patience. I didn't know why I'm so patient, but I realize now that that is a gift, right? So what is your genius zone when it comes to your business? And the goal is to, number 5, hire outside help that can do everything outside of your genius zone, because the mastery of anything comes through repetition and practice. I can't imagine how much more creative I'm going to become when I have my whole team in place and they're doing everything else, and all I'm able to do is create. I can imagine what that's going to look like. Like when I have the financial resources to pull in what I need as this creativity starts going. But we're talking mental health, and I got to be honest. I also know that every gift has the potential to be a curse. I want you to put that in the comments because you got to be careful. Every gift has a potential to be a curse. Why? Because God created this entire world on polarity. You've never seen a one-sided coin. You've never seen a one-sided slice of bread. There's always opposites. That's how God created it. So if it's a gift, it has ability to be a curse. For instance, my creative genius. I heard Elon Musk say one time that having creative genius is like having a never-ending explosion going on in your head at all times. So it's a gift that we got PayPal out of it. It's a gift that we got Tesla out of it. It's a gift that we got a lot of that genius out. But it's a curse in that because I create, because I see the world so different, I see solutions to problems, it can be a distraction. And now I want to create all the time. At some point, I got to stop creating and start building something all the way through to the end to where it has legs so that it can be profitable, especially in business. And then I can go and create the next thing. Every gift has the potential to be a curse. So when you find your genius zone, there within that genius zone is also the potential for that genius to be a curse. So be careful about that. But when you find your genius zone, then you got to hire outside help to do all the things that are outside of your genius zone. Many small businesses are run on a shotgun budget, a shoestring budget, and that includes freelancing. However, sourcing people to help you manage your business is a good step to growing your business and increasing its chances of success. You probably wouldn't attempt to do your own company accounts, so you've hired an accountant, right? It's critically important. And that's where my mission comes in. That's where my purpose comes in. I am supposed to be using my creative genius and my patience to help Black entrepreneurs build businesses to the point where they can hire people, because Black people have the #1 unemployment rate, especially among Black men. I also know that when there's not opportunities for Black men to provide for their families, they get into the streets, and that leads them down a path that takes them away from our community. And part of the reason that we are in the places that we are in as a Black community is because of a lack of employment opportunity for our brothers. Particularly, get a strike on your record, now you get out and you can't get a job, right? Or at least a job that you feel is suffice enough to feed your family. So you go back to the streets, right? So my mission is to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people in the next 2 generations. That's 50 years. We're talking changing the world around me in 50 years. We're putting processes and systems in place that can attack this problem, right? Number 6, got to build your support network. You've heard of a business network, but what about a support network? Alongside building a team to support you in business tasks, try building a support network of stakeholders who care about you and your business alike, right? I watched the series Yellowstone. And I don't know if you are familiar with that series. It's Kevin Costner and his family owns 750,000 acres of land, right? It's crazy. They own more land. They own so much land that you could put Rhode Island, a whole state, inside the land that they have, and they still have a bunch of land, right? So they own all of this land, and Kevin Costner's character has a right-hand man named Rip. I was asking my wife, I said, outside of you, I don't know if I have a Rip in my life. And Rip is a type of dude that whatever John asks him to do, he just does it. The dirty work and the clean work. It's whatever, right? Because of the history of those two is John, after Rip killed his parents, or he killed his dad. His dad was beating his mom, had beat his mom and his brother to death. And Rip caught his dad on the side of the head or something, killed him. And he ran and fled the scene and ended up in John's barn. John found him, cleaned him up, raised him, and now that's his right hand man. I was like, man, I don't know if I have a Rip in my life, right? Someone that I can call and do anything. And I say that to say, as you're thinking about your support network, think about, and here's a revelation I just had. The reason I probably don't have a Rip in my life because I'm not a Rip to somebody else in their life. Interesting. Nevertheless, as you're building your support network, think about what you're willing to do for others and build and put people around you that are willing to go to bat for you. So they're going to catch you when you're saying things out of character, right? One of my good friends, Tobias, like when I finally went to the hospital and got the help that I needed, it was because of this brother. And he's been my friend since I was in the fourth grade, right? And he was, at that time, he was 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds, and I'm all of 6 foot, 165 at the time. And he literally grabbed me and held me, and with all the love in his voice said, bro, you got to go get some help. And he held me until my wife came and the ambulance came and they took me. He was like, I can't sit and watch you harm yourself, harm someone else. This ain't you, bro. And so even though we don't talk every day, maybe I do have a Rip in my life, but that was a defining moment in our relationship. And I realized that brother loved me, right? Because while everybody else was laughing at the stuff that I was doing because I was out of it, like he was like, nah, I'm not gonna let this go down like this, right? So you need people like Tobias in your life, is all I'm saying. Number 7, make the most of your working hours. To achieve a good work-life balance, it's important to set yourself working and stick to them. Important to set yourself working hours and stick to them. While this may seem impossible in the beginning, hacks like putting your working hours in your signature will start preparing your clients for your downtime and will in turn manage their expectations. How cool is that? There's a thought. So maybe I set my email systems up so that when people are sending emails after a certain time, it automatically kicks them to my out of office response. So they don't even expect a reply. If they're not expecting a reply, then I don't feel anxious about trying to get back to a client because they hit me up after hours. Man, that's a good strategy. I'm gonna put that in place. Number 8, view downtime as an investment in productivity. Alongside productive working hours, give yourself ample downtime is crucial. In its most simple sense, getting a good amount of rest and sleep can improve your productivity at work. I once did a show, and now I'm thinking about this. I once did a show that said sleep is overrated, rest is critical. Sleep is overrated, but rest is critical, right? You've got to rest. And sometimes we think if I'm sleeping 8 hours, I'm getting the rest that I need. No, sometimes you rest with your eyes open. Like sometimes you have to consciously put yourself in a state of rest and relaxation, right? It's not all about sleeping, but rest is critical. Downtime, like this last month, I've been allowing myself to shut my computer down and go and veg out on the couch, go for a walk. I mean, it's been transformative. Because one of the things my wife gets on me all the time is like, you just go, 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 go. And that's got to cause some worry for her. Like if I'm gonna go, 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 and I'm not taking care of myself, I can run myself out of this place. And then where does that leave her? Right? You really got to think about all of these things. My mental health and me taking care of my mental health is me taking care of her. Well, some of y'all didn't catch that. Me taking care of my mental health is me taking care of her. The same way that me taking care of my physical health is me taking care of her, right? I want to do all that I can so that when I'm 80 years old, I can still function so that she doesn't have to be responsible for taking care of me. Do all that I can so that I keep my mental faculties together so that I'm here for her. When my children start having children, and now I got grandbabies running around that she's going to need help with, right? It's important. View your downtime as an investment in productivity. Number 9, be your best boss. Many entrepreneurs find themselves working far more than they would ask an employee to do for them. As a recap over point 7 and 8, give yourself fair working hours, enjoy your downtime, and treat yourself as you would treat a team member. Be your best boss, right? This COVID situation has really allowed me to see how insensitive some employers can be, right? I know people very close to me who have to go to work in a physical location where someone just left yesterday with COVID, and they want everybody to come back to work in that space, right? Somebody on the job with COVID. And it's like, that's very insensitive of you. If what the media says about this thing being so horrible is true, why would you demand that I come back into an environment where 3 people just yesterday didn't come in today because they tested positive for COVID, right? And this is where I'm real big on having a stream of income that you own and can control. Because if I got a stream of income that I own and control, and my employer is treating me with that amount of insensitivity, then I can make a decision and say, you know what? I don't got to take this. I'm not feeling safe here. I'm not feel like you value my life. I'm going to go home and work from home. And if you got to fire me, then you can do what you need to do. But that's why you got to have something else, right? Because when you are in a situation where people feel like you need them, that's where the highest level of mistreatment shows up. Number 10, don't go searching for happiness. Entrepreneurs are often portrayed as superheroes of the business world. They've broken the mold, reinvented the wheel, and thought outside of the box. Working for yourself can often feel like the opposite, right? And that expectation of having it all together can make it even harder to recognize your weaknesses and stop yourself from expecting big success. Instead of focusing on happiness highs, try focusing on contentment, right? Contentment is a mental or emotional state of satisfaction often drawn from being comfortable in your mind, body, and surroundings. I don't get too high, right? When I close a big deal, close a big sale, I don't get too high. When I lose one and gets off the hook and they decide to go with another agency to do their marketing for them, I don't get too low. Try to stay even keel. I try to be content in what I have, even though I know I'm capable of more, right? I'm thankful, I'm grateful for what I have. I wake up giving thanks every day for all that I have, how far I've come. But for me to rest here, I feel And you don't got to feel like this. I feel for me to rest at this place, at this level, is a slap in the face to my creator. Because I've got a sneak peek of what I'm capable of. So I can't stop here. I can't. Because I think that's a slap in his face, right? You guys heard my acorn and oak tree analogy, right? A tree don't know how to grow halfway. A tree is trying to touch the sun. I'm trying to touch the sun. That means I'm trying to get to my fullest potential, trying to maximize every ounce of everything God created me to be. I want to maximize. Number 11, improve your mental resilience. As well as shifting your focus from happiness to contentment, building up your mental resilience will enable you to weather the low periods of running a business. A good business leader is one that can stay positive in the face of adversity, thinking clearly despite negative situations that may be out of your control. Right? It's the serenity prayer. Change the things I can, accept the things I can't, wisdom to know the difference. Right? And then last but not least, remember, business is a marathon, not a sprint. As Craig Davis put it in entrepreneur.com, business is a marathon, not a sprint. And integrating many of these short-term practices we have listed will help you to manage your business in the long term. So happy April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. I'm going to spoil it for y'all, man. Be on the lookout. Don't let nobody fool y'all today. It is April 1st, so that's April Fool's Day. Don't let nobody fool y'all today, man. Be on your guards, right? And remember, if you guys want to catch me on the Hood Talks podcast tomorrow at 12 noon, look at and that's Central Time. Check the link in the description and the show notes. And remember, if you're watching me anywhere else on Facebook outside of the Cortez Hustle Show page, I won't be there on Monday. You got to go follow the Cortez Hustle Show page. We're going to start building that thing from scratch, and you guys are going to get a chance to watch me build it from the ground up. And I'm going to see if I can get me a deal like Jada Pinkett Smith and get me a blue table talk going, a la the red table talk and the amazing work that she's doing over there. So I thank you guys all. Hopefully you are kicking off second quarter. Hopefully you close out first quarter with a bang, and I hope that your second quarter is equally as productive, if not more. Till I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it. I want y'all to say that with me. I deserve to get my money up because you absolutely can do it. More importantly, you deserve to do it. Each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.